Tisha.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the Open Booked podcast. Today we are talking about Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews. But first, what are you reading and what did you read this week?
Great question. I am now in a slump because I finished Manacled. Pedal to the metal. I talked about this a few times. I wanted to read it by the end of the year. I read it in less than a month. I think really a 2-week period. 90% paper. And I don't know that my brain will ever be the same. And it's amazing, and I highly recommend everybody read it. That being said, I tried to move on to a little fall book.
Okay.
Look how cute. I've obviously made it like 2 chapters, but I'm trying. And I obviously finished the book that we are covering this week, but I believe that's all I had. What about you?
I, of course, read Hazelthorn. I also finished Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and it was really good. I think I told you'll like it because there's a dog in it, and there's a lot about the dog in it, and there's a lot of perspective from the dog. And the dog's name is 630, which is cute and scientific and hilarious. So
Okay, love it.
And then I also listened to Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham.
Thriller queen, okay?
Yes, very much so. And it was so good. I was like, oh,
wait, what was it called?
Does it have to end? Only If You're Lucky.
Sorry, I have to look it up right now. Okay, it popped up immediately. I have a couple of her books I haven't read yet from Book of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
All the Dangerous Things and A Flicker in the Dark.
Both very good.
Okay, this one, it's from last year. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. And then I have Forget Me Not that I got from Book of the Month this year.
Did I get that one too?
I thought so. It was just a couple months ago. It's right there on top. On the third shelf down.
This shelf?
On the right. Floral.
Oh. Okay. I didn't put
nice.
it. Yeah, I didn't put it with these. It's right by it though with the other. I tried to do by author. I need to redo this thing. I was on Amazon this morning looking for shelves. I think we've decided that my husband is just going to make us like a built-in because it's much more customizable and space efficient. Like I can fit more in the same amount of space.
Yeah. And then I started Girl I Was by Geneva Rose, which came out in July.
Yes.
And it's really good. And then I started on Paper Roses last night.
Okay. It's funny. Everyone was over at my house last night and they left and apparently started books because Allie started Manacled. She already texted me this morning. So that was fun. I have some new books.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned last week, I talked about Morgan Elizabeth and how I had read that spicy book a couple of years ago, 'Tis the Season for Revenge, and then I bought some more of hers. I think I said I had ordered another set and it hadn't come in yet. If I didn't say that, I meant to say that. But it came in. And I want to just have a moment for all the stuff she sends with her books. Like, this is my second order from her. Look at how cute these bookmarks are. Okay, this is like little cowboy boots and candy canes. And then here's like a fall one.
So cute.
Revenge is best served cold. Like, these are just cute bookmarks. And then every book has a sticker page. They're good, thick stickers, too. They're so cute. Where am I going to put them? I don't know. That truck, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And then, like, little postcards. And then she hand writes your name on every order, saying, like, your order made my day.
I love that.
But there's a couple cards for the books, like with the tropes and such on the back. Mm-hmm. She did that with the other ones as well. Let me show what I got. This is Big Nick Energy. Okay. I just thought it looks Christmassy and cute. Mm-hmm. I read this one's pretty popular of all of hers. I think it's a newer one, so excited for the holidays for that one. Now, this book I've read, and I just wanted it because it's really good. This is the one I read. Tis the Season for Revenge. And just look, it's...
Yeah, it's shiny.
It's shiny. And let's talk about this.
Ooh, signed.
Yeah, I think she signed all of them, yeah.
Love that.
Next one, Cruel Summer. This one's a little thicker, but look how cute this is.
Oh, yeah.
I like these, and there's other covers. I think these may be the ones, I'm not 100%, that got picked up. So these are limited edition covers. At least that's what video I saw said. The Fall of Bradley Reed.
Ooh.
And Ick Factor.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm excited. Adding it to the library that's already overflowing, but I haven't ordered anything else besides my book of the month and Allurial boxes. I canceled a couple. Did I talk about this yet?
Yeah.
I talked about Bookish Box. I don't think I talked about the Romance Reveal. That one I canceled just a couple of days ago. No hate or anything. It's just they're paperbacks, they're small. They're not like special editions, and I'm trying really hard to limit myself. So I decided, unfortunately, that had to go. So I just have the two now. Okay. And Allurial is book of the month. I confirmed with my bank statements. The charge says book of the month. So
okay.
Definitely the same company, which would explain why they're all perfect size and are going to go beautifully in the bookshelf. That's another thing. They're all going to be perfect, beautiful, same size with a little corner and say what month I got them. And that's just something for me that I like.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Paper Roses. We talked about this a little bit last week. We haven't done a lot of digging because we really want to experience this via the book. And so we will be covering that next week. So everyone go read it. Now, prepare. We may or may not have an interview with the author as well. So very much looking forward to that. But I think it's anywhere you buy your books at this time. So.
And there's an audio.
Yeah. Audio. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I read it in the thank yous at the beginning of the ebook she sent. I was like, ooh, that's nice.
So, yeah, amazing.
Everywhere.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about the books that are coming out Tuesday. Notably, there is one we are very excited for. The second book, this is November 18th. Tuesday's big book release day. The second book is it called the Fae and Alchemy series?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. First one's Quicksilver, second Brimstone. And the author just confirmed that I think half the book is going to be in Kingfisher's point of view.
Okay.
So the girlies are very excited about that. I think we've talked about this before. I'll say it again. I'm about to reread Quicksilver because I don't think we gave it a fair shake when we read it the first time. We were kind of haters.
Yeah.
It had the unfortunate job of being like our first romantasy after Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
And I don't envy that on anyone. So I'm going to go into this next read. Fresh mind, fresh eyes. We'll see how it goes. And Brimstone has me excited. We love a sequel or second book. I don't know how many there's gonna be. but excited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say some of these other ones here. November 18th has quite a few. Simply More by Cynthia, or I mispronounce her last name every single time. It's the woman who plays Elphaba in Wicked, Cynthia Erivo, or Erivo.
Oh, Arivo, yeah.
Erivo, okay. I guess she wrote a autobiography, because she wrote it herself.
Otto, yeah.
Auto. Let's see here. There's a new romance, and then there was You by Sophie Cousins. Cute cover. We're sucker for those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one I'm pretty sure was on Book of the Month. Options: Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain by
Mm-hmm.
Emily Krimpholtz.
I picked that one.
I did too. Okay, so this is another great example of Book of the Month having them early. My box, we film episodes a little bit early, guys. I understand this episode comes out mid-November, but we're filming it early November. We're going to have our boxes by the 3rd or 4th. This book comes out the 18th. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like getting an arc, really.
Yeah.
Cover looks cute. There's a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. That's all for the 18th that are the most anticipated. I'm sure there's hundreds more that are coming out. Tisha would know, bless her heart.
There's a couple. Did you say Heart Check?
No, that is not on this list.
Heart Check by Emily Charlotte is a romance that comes out. But the other one that I know of, I'm Medusa by Ayana Gray.
Oh, okay, I saw that.
Is another fantasy that comes out on the 18th. So, oh, that's what it was. P.S. You're the Worst.
P.S.
It's a contemporary romance that comes out by Chloe Seeger on the 18th.
It sounds great already.
Yeah.
I am going to let everyone know what the Allurial options were this month. They are only romantasy. Okay, first is The Sacred Space Between by Callie Reed. Our Vicious Oaths by N.E. Davenport, and Thrown in the Dark by A.K. Caggiano.
Cool.
For November for there. P.S. You're the Worst. Love it. It's going to be in my head all day.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just scrolling to make sure I didn't miss any November 18 books. Yeah, I think we said them all. Okay, do we want to talk about this book?
Yeah.
All right. Spoiler alert. You haven't read Hazelthorn. What is the author's name?
C.G. Drews.
C.G. Drews. Okay. Perfect. So if you haven't read it, go away, come back, read it, and then come back. You want to read the blurb? I know you have the actual book.
Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Hazelthorn estate ever since he was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian, Byron Lennox Hall, when he was a child. For his safety, Evander has been given 3 ironclad rules to follow. He can never leave the estate, he can never go into the gardens, and most importantly, he can never again be left alone with Byron's charming, underachieving grandson, Laurie. That last rule has been in place ever since Laurie tried to kill Evander 7 years ago, and yet somehow Evander is still obsessed with him. When Byron suddenly dies, Evander inherits Hazelthorn's immense Gothic mansion and acres of sprawling grounds, along with the entirety of the Lennox Hall family's vast wealth. But Evander's sure his guardian was murdered, and Laurie may be the only one who can help him find the killer before they come for Evander next. Perhaps even more concerning is how the overgrown garden is refusing to stay behind its walls, slipping its vines and spores deeper into the house with each passing day. As the family's dark secrets unravel alongside the growing horror of their terribly alive, bloodthirsty garden, Evander needs to find out what he's really inheriting before the garden demands to be fed once more.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. That's actually a really long blurb.
Yeah.
It sums it up. What did you think?
it was a mixed bag. Like I liked parts of it, but I didn't love it overall.
Mm-hmm.
I give
Yeah.
it a 4.
Give it a 4. Okay, I give it a 3. I'm the same way. I feel like this is giving Quicksilver to me that it had the unfortunate job of being the first book after I finished Manacled. And I don't think it's necessarily that book's fault. There were parts where I just couldn't really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't figure out enough of it to get into it and I became disinterested.
Mm.
Or I wasn't paying enough. I don't know, but I just had a hard time middle of the way through like getting to the rest. Once I got close to the end, I was locked in. But in the
Mm-hmm.
middle, I kind of hit this like drought a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It ended. I was okay with the ending. What about you?
Yeah.
What did you think about the whole garden aspect?
It was very unique.
Yeah.
Also very disturbing.
Yes.
I had questions all throughout it, just as you're reading or even listening, just like, how, why, what? And I feel like it wrapped it up really well, but all throughout you have an unreliable narrator, so that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
help. And you're
Mm-hmm.
just so curious as to who and why and how and what is happening.
Yeah. I will say I haven't read a ton of books with unreliable narrator. So when I catch on that it's an unreliable narrator, I start to question everything and go
Mm-hmm.
down like 100 avenues that it could possibly be. That's one of my questions on here. Like, do you feel like at times he was an unreliable narrator and other times reliable? Like, which part of him do you think is the most true himself? That's what I kept questioning, especially when you find out what he is at the end. Like,
Mm-hmm.
which parts of him throughout the entire book were real and which parts were him being like brainwashed? I don't know. I couldn't really like figure out if he was really a monster or not.
Yeah, I think he was initially,
Mm-hmm.
but then he fell in love with Lori,
Mm-hmm.
and then he returned to it at the end. So I think
Mm-hmm.
he went through a whole journey on his own, and that was a rough ride to follow.
Yeah. I thought the entire time he killed the grandpa. Like I had it, I was like, no matter what other relatives they bring in, I think Evander did it. Like I had it in my head, which he did too. I guess he thought he did
Yeah,
it near the end.
yeah.
The the part that kind of like I was like, huh, that's interesting, is that Laurie made him, like sacrifice. So picture Laurie being this young, sexually confused kid
Mm-hmm.
who is bullied and abused physically, probably mentally, everything, wanting a best
Mm-hmm.
friend, maybe not even at the first part being like in the homosexual kind of way. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
it turned into that, but in a loneliness kind of way. So he created his sacrifice, asked for this specific person, and
Mm-hmm.
then ended up creating, because of that, this person hates him because the only thing he remembers is him trying to murder him, but really he wasn't. He was digging him up or whatever.
Yeah,
So, like, I think Laurie's a lot nicer than I would be in the same situation. Like, they play him
yeah,
off as this mean guy, but I was like, I actually think he's pretty nice for what he's been through.
yeah. And I'm sure that was intentional in the creation of it, to make him seem like the villain initially, because as far as we understand through the majority of the book, he attempted to kill him, and that obviously creates an odd relationship for Evander. So he's so curious as to why he's not tried it again, or when he'll try it again. Will he try
Mm-hmm.
it again? How he's going to do it? And There were times that I almost thought Laurie set Evander up to take the fall for killing the grandfather. And I was like, what what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I could see that as well. Like that the way that the author wrote it, that is probably like a little dead end they want you to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And think it's Laurie the whole time. Like I bet people who don't critically think about books probably thought it
Mm-hmm.
was Laurie the whole time, which it ended up being, but obviously, but it it was a huge journey to get around to that, you know, like
Yeah.
instead of following all the other little clues, just standing on business that it's Laurie. I could see how that would be something
Yeah.
as well. I don't know. It was a journey for sure. One kind of complaint I had was I would have loved some more description of the house. It
Mm.
got like overrun by the garden and stuff, but I would have loved to have a better visual because all I could picture is like the Beauty and the Beast mansion at before the curse is lifted. You know, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
looks all that was what I had in my head, but maybe I don't know, just a little bit more. And maybe I missed it, but I just felt like I had to create my own picture, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really only get the imagery of his room because that's where he spends the majority of his time.
Yeah.
And then there's one other room that's identical to his room, but it's overgrown by the garden. And he
Mhm.
doesn't realize that that's his own doing. So
Mhm.
I'm sure it's created to be a contrast for him, but you don't realize it at the time. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's really hard to picture the mansion. I mean, even they talk about a dining room. They don't describe what that looks like other than this long table and no one's really talking to him or addressing him. There's a ballroom, I believe, where people were like received for this
The wake.
memorial event. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's really not described either. So I think a lot of the focus went into describing the more gothic parts of
Mhm.
the room and his being as a whole, but there's a lot more about the garden than there is any of the mansion. So it's really hard to follow.
Yeah, and I get it because the main focus was the garden. I think the author wanted you like locked in on the gardens. I didn't realize, I guess, that it would be like a supernatural twist. Maybe I should have assumed that. I just thought it was all like realistic
Mm-hmm.
and that the grandpa was just like a serial killer or something, which I mean obviously was true, but not that it was like an evil garden that has its own life force, or I mean what would you even call it? Like
Yeah.
power, I don't know, but so not that that's bad, it just kind of surprised me a little bit. But okay, do you think, let's talk nurture versus nature, because I feel like that kind of goes with this story. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think if Evander wasn't medically abused and told to be quiet, you're nothing, what, we took you in, blah blah, if he would have just been a monster, his true self the whole time, would he have suppressed that? Like, what do you think his raising by the grandfather had, what kind of role did that have in how he acted?
Hmm. I think he would have been a lot more gentle, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like, he wouldn't have understood that consuming people was wrong. So he wouldn't have thought twice about the people coming to him to feed him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he also would have just been a lot less angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a major theme in this is just rage and not having control or autonomy over your body, your thoughts, your energy, focus, anything. So I think he would have been at a lot more peace if he just been left in and to the garden, and maybe even been allowed to like die out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't have been such a dramatic state that he lived in, being constantly abused.
Yeah. Abused and then so hungry. I noticed throughout there were several comments about like tasting blood, biting, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I was like, this dude might be a cannibal. Like that's where
Yeah.
my head was. And then when he ate all the food and just kept eating and was always talking about how hungry he was,
Mm-hmm.
once the big reveal at the end, I was like, okay, this kind of checks out with what they were
Mm-hmm.
foreshadowing. So good foreshadowing on that part. I think I agree. He wouldn't have been as angry. I think he had a lot of pent up resentment once he
Mm-hmm.
figured it. I think he knew it all, but had it suppressed. Once
Yeah.
it clicked for him,
Yeah.
that he obviously murdered everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would have necessarily happened had
Mm-mm.
he known and been raised. Okay, you are the part of the garden. We take these thorns out of your mouth. Like we're experimenting because we don't know what to do with you. The
Yeah.
taking out of the body parts to make another garden, taking out his ribs. What the insane?
Yeah. Like, before Lauren started the book, I kind of explained it as Gypsy Rose, but with a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it was a lot of just other people controlling him and taking from him and using him, and that part kind of makes you sick just to think about somebody being able to do that to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they ever saw him as a person, so they didn't feel like they were doing anything wrong.
Yeah. I agree. They thought of him as a plant,
Yeah.
literally, that needed
Yeah.
to be tended to.
Mm-hmm.
Which I just bought a plant. I hope I don't kill it.
It's like really makes you think about like pruning and propagating plants now.
Yeah. Yep. I will never ever water or trim or anything to my plant without thinking about this book. So, well done.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else to add here?
There was one quote right near the beginning that I loved. I think it's about Evander, who said he gives up, his mouth a coffin for all the things he cannot say, which I
Hmm.
feel like anyone who's ever been abused in any sort of capacity, whether that's physical, mental, verbal, whatever, I feel like in your mind you have a lot of those moments where you're just like, I can't say that. So you
Mm-hmm.
just bite your tongue or you bury it down deep, and in the end it comes out as rage.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah. No, that's interesting quote too. Okay.
Yeah. There was one question I had. It was probably like a third of the way through the book. I was like, have they been bloodletting him when he's drugged or asleep? And then I was like,
Mm.
okay. They're doing a lot more than bloodletting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that is in there somewhere. I mean, they had to have tried that at some point.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, great question because you were on the right track, obviously.
I guess I was like, wow, this is getting dark.
Yeah.
How did you feel about how all of the family members like played into the rage of the garden, but also into just like the hunger and greed of it all?
I think that's one of my favorite parts about this book is you don't know anyone
Mm-hmm.
until a family member dies.
Oh
You
yeah.
may think your family would never do that.
Yeah.
Jesse and I, within a year, had grandparents die. And I will just say this, there are family members I no longer speak to
Mm-hmm.
because when people die, their true colors come out. And
Oh yeah.
money is all people care about. So I think this author did a really great job
Yeah.
making it fit the storyline, but also a true representation about people coming from the woodwork when
Yeah.
somebody dies. And I'm not saying we had an estate, any of my family members had an estate with millions of dollars. Like, it wasn't even, I can't even imagine the billionaire level. It's got
Yeah.
to be 10 times worse. But you've probably experienced this. Everybody can speak to losing someone and seeing how others act.
Yeah.
And I think the author did a great job here with that. And it was an interesting dynamic, like with the assistant. And I think the one guy didn't really know all about it until,
Mm-hmm.
and then was like, okay, rubies, like all about
Yeah.
rubies for some
Yeah.
reason. But no, I think I liked that. What about you?
Yeah. Like you said, it definitely showed people's true character and just kind of reminds you that like nothing really matters in the end because just like this, it can be taken from you.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the case of the lawyer, somebody can just make something up and lie about it and it can go to somebody else. So it was
Yep.
very wild to see.
Yep. You can't take it with you when you go.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the lawyer was an interesting side character as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
I knew right off the butt he's sus. I didn't think the will was maybe fake,
Yeah.
but I knew that there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. Especially when he was trying to tell Laurie, like, I need him to trust me, or like
Mm-hmm.
that little conversation that Evander overheard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was weird.
but it made me think Laurie was in on it and knew more, but apparently not.
Yeah. It definitely made me question Lori a little bit in that conversation. I was like, hmm, is
Yeah,
he behind this? Is he helping to steal the rubies or what does he actually want out of all of this?
yeah. Like, what's going on?
Because he said many times that he wanted Hazelthorn.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say he wanted the estate. He didn't say he wanted the mansion, the gardens, any of that. He said Hazelthorn. And then when you find out Evander is actually Hazelthorn, it makes all the
Mm-hmm.
sense. But until then, it's just like, why? Why does he want this property or garden or whatever?
Yeah, that was a nice reveal there, like what he
Mm-hmm.
meant by that. I agree. I liked that.
There's a kind of distinct piece to this character, this main character, in that he's autistic, which you don't get a lot of.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I just a couple months ago read Maid, where she's autistic. It's not explicitly stated, but she has the characteristics. And it makes people very just matter of fact. Like there is no gray area. They just do things. And if they're given rules, they are going to follow them to the letter. And he's given these three ironclad rules. And it's like, okay, but how does that pertain to him? And it's so interesting to see how the author both sets that up and helps us kind of feel that through Evander.
Yeah, I do agree. Interesting dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Until you told me, I didn't realize that, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Okay, got it. So I
Yeah.
think it's cool to get some
Yeah.
representation there.
Yeah. As you're talking about like not knowing what it looked like, I just saw this on the back.
Oh, I would have loved that.
And it says there is something wrong with the garden, and it shows two hands reaching through these thorn brambles, and there are at least two faces, maybe another skull in there. And it shows the house, and there's one window like lit up, and it's
Hmm.
just a reflective like thing on the window, which is really cool.
Interesting. Okay.
So whoever designed this, Meg Sayer, the jacket was really interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
It's cool.
Well, I'm glad you showed me that. Now I have a visual.
Yeah. And is that all we've got for Hazelthorn?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Next week, we will be discussing Paper Roses by Debbie Show. Go check out our website. We have merch. We have this list of all of the books coming out for the entire year, for the rest of the year, for next. We're starting on next year, and it has been a huge labor of love. Go follow our socials. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, open booked across all of them. And I think we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.